What's going on, trader? Brittany Hughes here. And before we dive into today's top tier trader interview, I want to give you a bit of backstory, right? So, this is a virtual interview, and I did it with our top tier funded trader, Janome, who is calling in all the way from South Africa. Now, I know this is a pretty big statement, but I think this was by far my favorite virtual interview that I've ever done. I think that you will be just as touched as I was and inspired as I was by Janome's story. I remember at one point in the interview, I literally had goosebumps on my skin just because he was spilling so much knowledge and value that I found extremely prevalent to trading and my own personal journey, and I hope that you're able to do the same as well. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you are not subscribed already. And at the end, go ahead and comment down below your biggest takeaway from this interview. Something tells me that you're going to have a number of comments to share. And that's it. Without further ado, let's get into the interview. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another top tier trader interview. Brittany Hughes here, and I am joined here today with another top tier trader. Before we get into the interview, I want to encourage you to make sure to subscribe to our top tier YouTube channel as always, because with these interviews, we are dropping them and they are always filled with some level of value. So you're always going to want to make sure that you are subscribed and notified whenever we have a new interview that's being dropped. Now, without further ado, I have got Janome here with me today. A top tier trader. Janome, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful today, Brittany. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm calling from this. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. That's kind of my home base. Where is your home base?
Okay, so I'm in South Africa, Johannesburg, Kempton Park. Yeah.
Okay, great. I love conducting these, especially these virtual interviews, because it allows for me the opportunity to interact with our top tier trader community from, all corners of the world. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. Now,
No, it's my
without
pleasure being here. Like, I remember like the first time I seen one of these interviews were when you were interviewing like Q Banks and a few of the major traders, and then I told myself one day I'm gonna be on that podcast. So I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah, and the day has finally come. Congratulations. Let's just jump right into it. Can you
Okay.
inform our community what has your biggest payout from Top Tier Trader? What has that been?
Okay. So the biggest payout I've got was $14,000. Yeah. And then, but together I made two payouts, which was 14 and 10. So together the biggest payout I got was like 24,000 rand. 24,000.
$24,000. That's incredible. If you don't mind me asking, what did you spend that payout on? I know that, getting $24,000 is a massive milestone. So yeah, what'd you use your payout on?
So like I structure my life in different goals. So one of my major goals is for me to actually I want to do actually give myself a gift. Like one of the dreams I've always been dreaming of, like since I was a young boy, and that was always like owning a golf GTI, a white one. I used to play like when I used to play games, and I used to play like Need for Speed and those kind of games on PS2. You always used to like drive these cars and imagine yourself like one day I will own one of these cars. So that was one of my dreams, just owning a GTI golf. And after getting the payout, I did a purchase. Everything went wonderful. So sometimes when I just drive the car and I'm in the car, I just can't believe it. And I'm like, this is so wonderful, and it just takes me back to that childhood memories when I was like dreaming of owning this vehicle. And yeah, that's a big milestone in my life.
That is incredible. Congratulations. That's so big, and ultimately that's what this is all about, right? Being able to learn a skill set, generate an income, and to do the things that you've always wanted to do, have that be buy your dream car or travel to another country. Now, Janome, I know that hasn't getting a $24,000, cumulative payout from top tier. That's not where you started, of course, right? Obviously, that took time, discipline, energy, effort. So I want to draw back just a little bit in time and ask, when did you first discover trading? How long ago was that?
Okay. So the first time I discovered trading, I was still a student at varsity, and then one of my major friends, like one of my mentor friends, his name was BJ. He introduced me to trading, and the first time I heard about trading, he was kind of is a very intelligent guy, so he let me know like if you want to do trading, the major thing is that you're gonna need funds, and I didn't have much funds at the time because I was just a student. So I realized like, okay, so I need to get funds before I can actually take this serious. See, so that's the initial stage of it. But there was a long year after that that I developed and found myself, and then I started actually, doing trading better and becoming better. But that was just the introduction of trading to me. Yes.
And how long ago was that?
That was in 2018. So that was like 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. Yes. That's the
Okay.
first time I was trading.
Okay. And then from that point in time to you, learning a strategy, kind of adopting an edge, how long did that take you from that moment?
That took me a long period of time. But like I said, like I didn't trade for a long period of time because I knew I had to get some funds. And then in order for me to get some funds, I needed to get a decent job where I can
Mm.
have decent funds to trade from there. So it took me some time to get into my job and be stable in my job. But once I was stable in my job, I was like, okay, I'm ready, but I still didn't have the momentum to go. But then there was three major turning points in both my personal life and my forex career. So the one was when I changed my city because I was living in a small city. The second one was when I bought Wall Street Academy course, and the third one was when I discovered the book called Think and Grow Rich because that was my major points. So yeah, so when I started, and then in my working, I noticed that in order for me to get an increase on my salary so I can have more money to play with, I noticed that I have to go in the next step in my career. So what I did is that I had to move to a new city. So I had to move to Cape Town. That's the one of the best cities in South Africa. And also like it was voted one of the best cities in the world. You should try it out. But when I moved to that city, I realized like I need to step up because that's when I was exposed to like what life really has to offer, and like seeing these Lamborghinis, seeing the cars, seeing the lifestyle. I was like, I need to get myself together. And I was lucky enough because when I moved to the bigger city, that's where my cousin was, Damon. And then he, at that time, he was doing Forex full on. So he introduced me back into it. And just when I wanted to do the step up in my life. And then I was like, let me do this. And then I went through various courses and different courses, and it was just not clicking until I heard Q banks. That the guys did introduce me to Q banks, but I wasn't so full on. But when I saw one of his major interviews, I was like, "This guy is speaking my language." And when I heard that, I was like, "Okay, let me go for it." And then I'm like you. I remember in one of your interviews you mentioned that like you only really take something serious when you pay a lot of money on it. And I'm that type of person. If I pay some money onto something, that's when I take it serious. And then I purchased my first big course, which was Wall Street Academy course. So when I enrolled on Wall Street Academy, that's when my trading changed. Like my eyes to trading open. I was like, this isn't a game. You have to take it serious. Then I realized like I was having my work career, and I said, okay, I'm gonna have to replace trading as my career. So I started taking trading as a career, and I felt like I've enrolled into a course now. So when I enrolled into a course, I was so enthused with Q banks, and then I noticed that he had a top tier trader. He opened, and then what I liked about top tier trader was when they said, this, this prop firm is for traders by traders. And that captured my heart a lot. Because I also see nowadays like a lot of prop firms using that same slogan. So that captured my heart. And then from then I bought in 5K challenges, but I was still not serious because I had a few stuff I was balancing at the time. But I had the course, I had 5K challenges, I was failing. And just to add to that, that I failed 23 prop firm challenges, but I did not let that keep me back. I failed. And I was purchasing till it came to a point where I had my last for the savings and I had my last five. I could have purchased my last 5K challenge. And then I sit back and I thought to myself, I need to take this serious. If I'm making this a career, that means I need to do everything in my ability to take it serious. And then I said, okay, what can I do to then I had to look to myself and I noticed that I'm unbalanced. So I had to balance myself. I made myself sit at peace, and I'm a faithful guy. I believe in God, and I'm a Christian. So I use that part of my life to like bring peace in my life, peace in my mind, peace. And with that peace, I started relaxing. And you know that I can still recall that the time I took it serious, there was one trade I can still recall that changed my whole trading. That on that 5K challenge I bought, the
Mm.
last one, like the last money I had. I took a trade and then it just didn't work out. But then I told myself to take a walk and blow the steam off because I didn't want my emotions to get a better of me. And I took that walk and I came back and I looked and I saw what I did wrong. After looking and taking and checking what I did, I took a screenshot of that trade. I wrote what I did wrong in that trade. And from there, I'm telling you, yeah, I saw so much success going forward. And then
Mm.
from there, so how I took prop firm challenges, I said like I'm a career driven guy. So I said that the prop firm is like you doing a course. You see, you need to, if you pass one phase, then you have your papers, then you have like a degree in trading now because you need to combine the rules you get from a prop firm with an actual course, with an actual idea of what you're doing. And if you combine the two, that's the success, which is like theory and practical. When you put it together, that's when you get an actual, paper. So once I went through so much, and then like I mentioned to you as well, I came across the book called Think and Grow Rich. Once I got that book, Brittany, yeah, it really set me because that book said to me like, in order for you to get somewhere, you must have a goal, and when you have a goal, you must know how you're going to achieve that goal. You must know the steps you're going to take to achieve that goal. You must know when you're going to achieve that goal, and you must know how much you're going to need to achieve that goal. So I wrote that on a paper and I put it on my wall and I read it every morning, every night, every morning, every night. And then with like me doing my trading as well, it just can't because on the my goals, I had written down my trading strategy and how I'm going to use the strategy to get to my money I want to get. So I believe that if I can get to 100K, once you have 100K, it's going to be easy to jump up to a million, to your next goal. So from then on, I was like just reading and believing I can have it. And as you read these goals every day, it becomes so infused in your subconscious mind that I was believing I had it. But and then I passed my first challenge. When I passed my first challenge, I was like, thank God. And then after passing that first challenge, Q Banks always mentioned to us that when you pass your first challenge, always take a break from trading because most guys, even the webinars, also ask Q Banks, like, I passed the challenges, but when I get live, then I blow. Q Banks said, you need to, after passing it, relax, take a break from your trading for at least for a week. Once you take that break, you reminisce like and you realize this is a life-changing opportunity and then you come back that next week with a fresh brain, no pressure, no anything. You know now what you're going to do. And that's what I did. After passing it for a week, I took a break. And guess what happened with it? I paid 15,000 for the Q Banks course, right? So when I took that break from my prop firm after passing it, and then I had a thousand rand, I put 1,000 rand into a live account, and then I used the skills I developed, and I turned that thousand to like a 50,000. I was like, what? Because I was like a few
What?
months. Yeah, and I just that 15K, I just like few 3, 4, 5 months, and I was like, Q Banks, thank you. And he always reminds me of what Think and Grow Rich says. He says that if you get the secret of success, everything you touch turns to gold. And it was like Q Banks, everything you are touching must turn into gold. And I was like, this is what I want to strive for. And then after passing that, having that 50K, yeah, that's when I set myself apart. And I used that 50K, I invested into my trading again. I bought me like a 300K challenge. And that's when I leveled up my trading. I believe like if you get the money, you have to reinvest. And that's when I leveled up and I managed to get me the 300K account. And when I passed the 300K account, yeah, my life changed. And that's when I realized like, that's when I got the payouts. And that's when everything changed for my first goal. Like, yo, then after
Oh
that,
my goodness. Wow. Literal mic drop. That is an insane story. I was so locked in the whole time. You covered so much. I mean, I even want to take it back to you knowing that you wanted, like, again, I'm kind of speechless at this point because the what you just shared with me is the definition of if you want something, you'll do anything to achieve that thing. Have that be you learned you were exposed to trading. You said, I need money in order to make money. I need money in order to do this. I need more opportunity. I need to move. I need to live. I need to leave my small town and move to a bigger city where there's more opportunity so I can put myself in a better position to succeed. And that alone is more than what many people do. And you didn't stop there. You still had that goal in mind of I want to trade. I want to trade. So getting a job that afforded you to make an income so you can put money towards trading, so you can put money towards learning how to trade, so you can put money towards prop firm challenges, all of these
yeah,
things. And then so again, that you're at that point, success is almost already inevitable because you are signaling, you are putting all of the signals out there that you are going to make this work and this is something that you desire. And then to even take it a step further, you I'm laughing because it's like now you're reading Think and Grow Rich and you're just like instilling it even more and even more. And so, Janome, literally this your success that you've seen thus far and the success that you will continue to succeed that you will continue to see is inevitable. It's inevitable. Like there's no like I'm not surprised that we're having this conversation and that you've been paid out through top tier because of everything that you've done up until this point. I like we can be done with that. I'm just kidding. I was gonna say we can be done with the interview, but like truly, like you have dropped so many nuggets and so much knowledge in such a short period of time that I needed to hear this. I'm really happy that you're able to share your story because again, I think it's so amazing that I told you before we started recording, this could be someone's first exposure to trading, right? And that first exposure is everything. It's everything. And to hear your story about again, how you moved from your small town to a bigger city so you could learn, so you can make an income, so you can learn how to trade and so on and so forth, then to end up at this point buying your dream car, like, of course it was
yeah.
written. Like, of course it happened for you. Like, of course it's like, of course it did. Obviously, there were trials and tribulations that went on through that period, of course. What was one of the biggest hurdles that you had to overcome within that journey?
Like I mentioned to you, like one of my major hurdles was that I had too much pressure on me, especially like moving to the next city. I knew what I had to do, but I just didn't have the courage or the ability to do it. And I was like, "What's up? What's up?" That's when I said, when I realized as a Christian, I grew my faith, I grew my belief system. I grew what I stand for. I remembered what I am, who I truly am. I knew that the markets is just a reflection of me and who I am. And that's when I realized like I need to dive deep into myself, like what I know works for me, because I had so much stuff happening, so much people. I was looking up to Q banks and a lot of people. I was like, I was so infused to getting there that I forgot I need to remember who I am and know that my journey is different. And that's the major key point, especially like I just mentioned when I got the book and I realized like I know I have it. I know I am doing it. All I need to do is continue believing, work on myself, be patient, be humble, be gentle, give it time that it needs and let it like grow. Let me grow into it. So I was scared to grow into the position, like into this person I'm becoming. I was so scared of growing because growing is painful. That means like you need to forget certain stuff, you need to stop doing certain stuff, and it was very painful. Brittany, like I had to really sacrifice. I would fast at times. It was like I enjoy fasting. I was like, no internet, no Instagram, no Facebook. no certain, just so I can recall with myself who I am. And that's when I realized like I have this belief, I have this faith, and I just continued with the belief and the faith. And all the obstacles became so easy because I already saw myself in this position. I already saw the GTI in front of my, like Brittany, to tell you this now. When I was in, I downloaded a GTI Golf on I downloaded the car onto my PC, and I had it as a screen. Every morning I open the vehicle, but I didn't have that time. I'll just see it. I just see it. I just see it. And Brittany, the exact same car. You know how that's not coincidence. I can't have the exact mag, the exact same of color of the vehicle, all of that exactly the same. That was very that was when it hit me hard to say like with faith and believe and envision and seeing yourself in that position, it's guaranteed that there's so much stuff that happened in my life that I don't have control over. A lot of people call it luck, but that's just belief and faith. And that's the Think and Grow Rich book that helped me remember who I am. Because although I had the skill, although I had the course, although I had all of these tools, I just couldn't work because I was the one who didn't realize that it was meant for me. And once I saw that and I saw it and I believed it, Brittany, that's when the really my life changed for the better.
That is
Yeah.
incredible. That's yeah, your story is absolutely incredible. I'm interested to know what it is, if you don't mind sharing, what it is you're working towards now. I know that you reached, one of your biggest goals, to buy your dream car. You've gotten paid out through top tier. What's that thing that you're working towards now?
Okay. It might sound very weird, but I'm the type of guy, this is what I believe in. So I believe in that to me, I want to have a big family, as big family as I possibly can. So I want to have like 12 kids and then with my wife. So that means that I'm going to have to be successful. I'm going to have enough money to sustain these 12 kids. So that's where trading comes in to give me that success, to give me that. And I believe I have to give back both to my kids, both to my family, but both to my community as well and everyone around me. So the main thing is to get my family as big, the big family I believe I have, because I believe that the only thing I will be living on this earth is my kids. No matter like how I live, no matter how materialistic stuff I have, but the only one who's gonna carry my name, carry my legacy, carry who I am to the next level is gonna be my kids. So that's why I believe I wanna have as much kids as I possibly can have, and that's gonna require a huge amount of success in order to sustain that life. So that's what my next goal truly is as a trader. I don't know if there's a
Incredible.
yeah.
Incredible. No, that's not weird at all. It's personal to you, and I think that's an incredible thing. And I have no doubt that that's something that you will be able to achieve. I want to ask you in regards to being, a top tier trader. I know that you did Wall Street Academy, which was incredible. How has being a part of the top tier community impacted your trading and yeah, impact how you approach it, if at all?
Okay. So just the phrase top tier means like best of the best. So being a part of a franchise, it says the best of the best is what I stand for, because you have to give all you have in everything you do. And through top tier, I've been seeing you guys do everything. Like I introduced one of my friends, right? I said, okay, because I introduced him to trading a bit and I bought him like a challenge on top tier, and then he just bought the challenge. Then the next thing he was like, it was on YouTube, and then the next thing you're seeing like top tier ads. Like, I never seen top tier ads. Why is it suddenly popping up? It's like just because I signed up, I'm like, you see, top tier means the best are the best. And one thing that I like about is that how you guys are so transparent and how you work and how you can see like top tier is here to stay and here to be the best. And just the fact that also Q Banks certified his name on this top tier shows you like it's gonna be something that's legit, something that's gonna last for a long period of time. Because within that individual as Q Banks, you can see his track record of what he's done already, and you can see top tier as well. You guys are we like I would say I'm almost like small ambassador of top tier, but we are setting the standard for the next stop for the next prop firms. Like you hear prop firms also putting out the name now is like buy traders, for traders. I'm like, top tier started that. And then you'll have a lot of, like, you guys are just setting. Even now, you'll get people also doing these interviews, which you did. You did it, you top tier. We started this from the beginning, and now everyone is now. So I say top tier is the leading players of the industry. I understand there is few we're competing with, but with the direction, especially top tiers going, and I understand there is difficulties here with the rules and like that. People are scared that I don't like this rule, I don't, but it's just meant because we need the top of the top traders so that we can have guys that's sustainable. Because if we don't have these rules, we're not gonna have traders that's sustainable in the industry. It's no use we not having these rules just because we want guys to join, but they don't stay long enough. So that's why I'm on top tier side as a prop firm, and I just like the brand and what it stands for. And yeah, I've tried other prop firms as well, but even if you try, like top tier's service is so good that when I tried the other prop firm just because it's cheaper, you realize like the service is not good. I might as well go back to where I come from. Then you realize you even fall more in love with top tier. Like, hey, it's going to be very difficult for me to change this top tier because they really stand for what the name is, top tier. And that's what I like about top tier. As
Mm.
part of my journey, part of the person I am, I feel like the vision of top tier is who I represent and embody, and that's why I enjoy, and that's why I always ask people to tell people to join top tier if they have the funds and so on. So that's why I say I enjoy being with top tier just because of the brand and what it stands for.
Incredible. Janome, this has been such a treat. Truly. I always say this, but because it always is so true for me, and that is that each of these interviews are so different. And I believe that each of these interviews that are conducted are exactly what the community needs to hear at that given point in time is what I even need to hear at that given point in time. So I thank you so much for being here today and for sharing your story. I have one final question just because you are so, full of experience and wisdom. And for someone, again, putting yourself in the shoes that this could be someone's first exposure to top tier, first exposure to trading in general. For someone who's just getting started, what piece of advice do you have to give to them that maybe you wish you would have known at the start?
The number one thing that I stand on is like take trading as a career. Take it as a career, something that there's no way out. This is something you're going to do for the rest of your life. Commit to it, put everything you have in it, and it's definitely going to achieve. If you put half, if you try and half as it and put a half in, you're going to get a half out. And that's why we constantly losing because we're putting in half in. But once you put in full, that's when you're going to have the achievement. So that's what I would say. Put in everything you have in it, and I bet you're going to get everything you want out. That's my advice to most of the traders out there.
Incredible. Incredible. Thank you again so much. This has been such a treat and I am so excited to see what else happens for you because again, there's no doubt in my mind that whatever it is that you desire, especially in regards to trading, that it's inevitable that it's already yours. So, Janome, thank you so much for joining us and also thank you so much to our community for tuning in to this interview. Please take 30 seconds of your time to comment below the biggest takeaway that you received from this interview. There are so many. I mean, it could
Yeah.
even be as simple as opening up the book Think and Grow Rich that you have, in your
Yeah.
closet, something as simple as that. Janome, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And again, thank you to our top tier traders for tuning in, and we will see you in the next interview. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.